Yo, what is going on, guys? Flashverse here, and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 7. And for this video, I will be talking about the new artificial speed force that we will be getting. So this will be my new Speed Force explained video, where I will be talking about what it really is, and I will be explaining it with some theories and also with facts that we have. Also, I'll be talking about the things it could be able to do as well in terms of functionality and some abilities that we got teased alongside that as well. More specifically, some new powers that Barry may get. Make sure to stick till the very end of the video because this video will be packed with information and theories. Some of this video are facts, like it will happen, such as the new powers that Barry will get, for example. We know that that will happen, but then the majority of this video are some theories. So if you guys want to know more about the artificial speed force, then I would recommend staying till the very end of the video to find out more about it. Also, it does help out the channel and it would be greatly appreciated if you do so. But obviously, by the time I'm recording this video, we are so close to getting the Flash back. The Flash returns next Tuesday, which is very exciting. I pretty much just thought of doing a part 2 of this version of the video that I've done like a couple of months ago, I guess. That was the new Speed Force explained video as well. But because of the new teasers and new news that we got about the new artificial Speed Force and the Flash Season 7 in general, I thought of doing an updated version of that video because some of it could actually play out for the new artificial speed force. Also, I just chose to do a part 2 version of the video so we could kind of get more of an idea in regards to how this new artificial speed force could potentially play out. But also, we are one day away for the premiere of Superman and Lois, which is very exciting. Be on the lookout for my Superman and Lois episode 1 review and breakdown because I will be covering Superman and Lois alongside The Flash. I will be doing some Superman and Lois videos when it obviously comes around, as The Flash Season 7 and Superman and Lois will be the two main shows that I will be covering this coming season. Also, I have done a bunch of Flash Season 7 videos in regards to new teasers and new promos that we have released. Be sure to check them out if any of you are interested. I will link them in the description down below. But before I go over anything, however, you guys don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more Arrowverse content coming your way. So one thing we obviously had during the Flash Season 6 was the death of the Speed Force, and it dealt Barry with a huge blow that he suffered with throughout the back half of the Flash Season 6. And by the end of the Flash Season 6, Barry still has some of his speed left, but it's dwindling with every day that passes by. Now, Barry knows that his speed will be gone soon, but he has yet to give up being the Scarlet Speedster. And we obviously know that Barry is committed to coming up with a replacement for the Speed Force, especially with the reveal that by episode 1, Barry only has 1% of the original Speed Force left in his system. He could basically lose that 1% in any second. And in order to prevent him from losing the speed any further, Team Flash will build this cryo temperature chamber that we saw in the trailer, so Barry will maintain the speed that he has left for a longer period of time until he is able to get the artificial speed force to start working. During the Flash Season 6, we have seen Barry attempt to create this new speed force by using a couple of things such as Nora's journal, for example, because Dawn taught Nora how to create a speed force and Nora put it in her journal, so Barry used that journal to kind of create the new artificial speed force, but he has remained to be unsuccessful so far. But one thing we know for sure going into the Flash Season 7, that we will be getting this new speed force coming into play and Barry will eventually get it to work. But what exactly is the new artificial speed force to begin with? Now, from what we know of so far, this artificial speed force will basically be an alternate source of energy which grants our speedsters to run at super speeds alongside the various abilities they have, such as phasing, throwing lightning, time travel, and whatever else they have. Now, we have seen one of our speedsters have their own version of the Speed Force other than Barry Allen himself, and that is obviously Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash. So I'll be using Thawne's Speed Force, aka the negative Speed Force, as an example to explain the new Speed Force at first, and then I'll jump into more theories and facts later on. Now, although we don't know how exactly Thawne was able to create his own Speed Force, his own version of the Speed Force is quite different to the regular Speed Force. Let's just say it's a bit negative. So one thing we know about Thawne's Speed Force is that his Speed Force is powered by negative thoughts and emotions and like hatred and stuff. Therefore, anyone who taps into his Speed Force will be someone that gets corrupted by it and go down this dark path, and eventually turn out to pretty much become a villain. Whereas the original Speed Force wasn't powered by any sort of emotion, it was just simply a source of energy which grants our speedsters to run at super speed. Now we know that Thawne is able to do the exact same things as he is able to do with that of the normal Speed Force. However, there are some differences towards his Speed Force as well, including that of making the user of the negative Speed Force immune to all sorts of timeline changes. So if you guys were wondering how exactly Thawne was able to survive every time he got erased from existence, that is exactly why. The negative Speed Force is shielding him from these timeline changes. Not just that, but from the Flash comics we do kind of get an idea in regards to how Thawne was able to create his own Speed Force, the negative Speed Force. So Thawne was able to create his negative Speed Force through a piece of the Speed Force residue from Barry's suit, if that makes sense, which suddenly ends up in the future. So like basically Thawne finds Barry's suit, and from that suit there's like residues of the Speed Force left. So in other words, basically Thawne uses a dose of Barry's original Speed Force to create the negative Speed Force. He just ends up corrupting it and making it become negative. So using Thawne's example of his own Speed Force, we could kind of get a broad idea on how Barry's Speed Force would work and how he could potentially get it to work as well using Thawne's way. Now we obviously know that Barry is still yet to make his Speed Force in some way, and obviously so far this is all speculation. But could we have it that Barry's Speed Force is once again the opposite of that of the Reverse Flash? So instead of being charged by negative emotions and like hatred, what if Barry's Speed Force is being charged with positive emotions? And the more you think of it, this would make a lot of sense, because Barry is the paragon of love within the multiverse. He is filled with hope, he is filled with all these positive emotions basically. So it would kind of make a lot of sense if Barry's version of the Speed Force is powered by positive emotions. And if we do go by my theory, and using Thawne's way as well, Nash comes up with a plan where he tells Barry to use that 1% of the Speed Force in his system to run around the Speed Lab in order to power up and get the new artificial Speed Force to work like that. And maybe as Barry runs around the Speed Lab while using that 1% of the Speed Force, maybe Barry will think of all the positive emotions within him, and therefore as he runs around the Speed Lab, because in the trailer we do know that he is in the Speed Lab as he runs. So as Barry runs around the Speed Lab while he's thinking of all these positive emotions, maybe as Barry uses that 1% of the Speed Force left, just how Thawne used that Speed Force residue to create his Speed Force, Barry would use that 1% of the Speed Force to create his own Speed Force and basically get that machine to work, and basically getting the birth of the new Speed Force like that. And that is how the Flash could get his speed back. So in other words, Barry would use that 1% of the Speed Force that he has left in his system in order to run around the Speed Lab to charge that Speed Force machine that we have seen throughout the Flash season 6. So he'll run around and charge that, and as Barry runs around using that 1% of the Speed Force, the new Speed Force will start to get kick-started, and then he will tap into the new Speed Force like that. That is what I am thinking will happen. Now, from what we have seen so far, we could kind of speculate that there will be some differences between the new artificial Speed Force compared to the original Speed Force. Now, first one, we don't have a definitive answer yet, but the second one we do. Now, for the first one, we could assume that Barry's lightning color changes, because as we saw in the trailer that he had hints of yellow, orange, as well as blue as well. With the original Speed Force, we knew that during the start of Barry's career as the Flash, like in the first 2 or so episodes of the Flash season 1, Barry's speed was yellow, and then that eventually progressed into becoming orange, and since then Barry's speed color has always been orange. But as we have seen in the new trailer, as I said before, Barry has a mixture of yellow, orange, and hints of blue lightning, which you could assume is the new Speed Force lightning that Barry will get from the Flash season 7 onwards. But from the new Speed Force, we do know that Barry will get a new power or ability that is evident from the Flash season 7 episode 2 synopsis, where we find out that Barry would get the power of speed thinking, which is quite overpowered because before, obviously, we know that when Barry freezes time and does something in a quick way, such as, thinking of something while he's in flash time, it still feels normal for him. Even though for everyone else it feels like a blink of an eye, for Barry it feels like a very long time. But with the introduction of speed thinking, he's pretty much a speedster version of DeVoe when you think about it, which is pretty goddamn overpowered, because he will be able to come up with various different solutions and ways on defeating a certain bad guy in a matter of seconds. Like, imagine him freezing time but also speed thinking as well. Like, how overpowered is that? And because of how overpowered that is, I don't know how they will be able to balance it out, because if Barry does have the power of speed thinking as a new ability, which is pretty cool, but Barry would no longer have to get too much help when you think about it as well, because if Barry's able to use speed thinking, he could just easily come up with like multiple different ways in order to like solve a solution or defeat a bad guy. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys think about the Speed Force explained video. Yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.